Good morning, Mrs. Dolby. Would you like some coffee or tea?
No, thank you very much. We had some coming in.
Okay.
My daughter Louise came with me. She's sitting out in reception. Should she come in here?
No, your daughter doesn't need to be here. In fact, it's better that we have this meeting in private so that there can never be any suggestion that you were influenced by anyone else. I hope you don't mind my asking, but do you want to make a will or are you a bit unsure about it?
I am a bit unsure, but my daughter Louise says that I should make one and that she should actually be sitting in here with me so that you will know what it is I want. So, yes.
Well, if you're sure you want to go ahead, it is actually better if we have this meeting in private, as I say, so that there can never be any suggestion that you are influenced by anyone else. I hope you don't think that this is a strange question, but are you sure that you want to do this? You don't have to make a will, although it is advisable, because if you die without one, the law will dictate what happens to your property. And that usually means that you don't benefit those that you want to benefit.
I see. Well, I suppose it makes sense, and I understand what you're saying. Yes, I think perhaps we'll go ahead and I'll make a will.
That's fine. As long as you're happy to go ahead, I can take your instructions now and prepare a draft for you to have a look at. Once you're happy with the draft, I can prepare a copy for you to sign, and then we can get everything formalised. Let's start with a bit of background so that I can give you some advice about basic tax planning and so on.
All right, fine, that sounds fine.
Okay, perhaps you could start by telling me about your children.
Right, well, I've two other children. Mm-hmm. There's Richard, who's 35, and there's Sophie, who's 28, and obviously my daughter who's outside, Louise, and she's 37.
Okay.
Richard and Sophie don't get on with Louise, but I still want them all to have an equal share in the will. I would like Richard and Sophie to pay out the money, whatever needs doing. I don't have very much. I mean, I've got a house that is worth £220,000, and I've got savings of about £10,000.
Yeah.
I've got some Tesco shares. They are £2,000. And I would think with the contents of the house and the bit of jewellery I've got, that's about £5,000.
Okay, that's fine. There shouldn't be any tax to pay on your estate, actually, although if your circumstances change, we may need to have another chat.
Right, that's good, because you do hear that, people have to pay out an awful lot of tax and there isn't very much money left.
Yes, that's right. The law does say that you can leave a reasonable amount without having to pay any tax, but of course a lot depends on the value of your house. Now, could I have the full names and addresses of you and your children?
Oh, right, okay. Well, my son's just moved, so sorry, I'm going to have to look at my address book because it's a new address. His full name is Richard Michael Dolby, and he lives at 28 Manor Park Drive, and that's in Wilmslow.
Okay.
And do you want the postcode?
Yes,
that
please.
Is EX21 4JJ.
Okay.
And Sophie, it's Sophie Angeline Burnett, and that's 2 T's.
Okay.
And she lives in Clulow House, which is in Westbury.
Yeah.
And the postcode is SN25 3MC.
Okay.
And Louise Dolby.
Yeah.
And she and I live together at 24 Brampton Road, Westbury, SN24 3MJ.
Lovely, thank you.
My full name is Mrs. Elizabeth Alice Dolby.
Yeah.
And I'm a widow.
Okay. Do you want to make any gifts to anyone apart from your children?
Oh, yes. I've got a friend, Edwina Rice Davies. I'd like to leave her my piano. We play duets together.
Right, okay.
And she does live very close. So it's not
Can I have her full name and address?
Oh,
please?
right, okay. Yes, she lives at 14 St Michael's Terrace. Her postcode is SN25 8VB.
Okay, thank you.
And I'd also, just thinking about it, I'd like to leave my Tesco shares to Judith Kemple.
Right.
And she's a friend who lives in Westbury, and she lives at 26 Roden Hill, and the postcode is SN25 7NQ.
Lovely.
Neither of them have got middle names.
Okay. Now, you said you wanted to leave the bulk of your estate to your children. Do you want them to have equal shares?
Oh, yes, yes. Even though Louise isn't administering anything, I do think it's fair that they all have equal shares. Yes.
Okay, that's fine. I'll draw up a will as we discussed, and I'll get a draft to you as soon as I can. In the meantime, if you have any questions, do please phone me. My number's on the card.
Right,
and thank you for coming in.
Right, thank you very much.